The Elefant was a heavy tank destroyer used by German Wehrmacht Panzerjäger during World War II. 91 units were built in 1943 under the name Ferdinand, after its designer Ferdinand Porsche, using tank hulls produced for the Tiger I tank design, abandoned in favor of a Henschel design. In January to April 1944, Ferdinands received modifications and upgrades. They were renamed Elefant in May 1944. The official German designation was Panzerjäger Tiger P, and the ordnance inventory designation was Sd.Kfz 184. Porsche had manufactured about 100 chassis for their unsuccessful proposal for the Tiger tank, the Porsche Tiger. Both the successful Henschel proposal and the Porsche design used the same Krupp-designed turret. The Henschel design had its turret more or less centrally located on its hull, while the Porsche design placed the turret much closer to the front of the superstructure. Since the competing Henschel Tiger design was chosen for production, the Porsche chassis were no longer required for the Tiger tank project. It was therefore decided that the Porsche chassis were to be used as the basis of a new heavy Panzerjäger, Ferdinand, mounting Krupp's newly developed 8.8-centimeter Pak-43 anti-tank gun. This precise long-range weapon was intended to destroy enemy tanks before they came within their own range of effective fire. The petrol-electric transmission made it much easier to relocate the engines than would be the case on a mechanical transmission vehicle. The engines can be mounted anywhere, and only the length of the power cables needs to be altered, as opposed to redesigning the drive shafts and locating the engines for the easiest routing of power shafts to the gearbox. So without the forward-mounted turret of the Porsche Tiger prototype, the twin engines were relocated to the front where the turret had been, leaving room ahead of them for the now isolated driver and assistant driver only. The now empty rear half of the hull was covered with a heavily armored, full five-sided casemate with slightly sloped upper faces and armored solid roof, and turned into a crew compartment, mounting a single 8.8-centimeter Pak-43 cannon in the forward face of the casemate. The initial Ferdinand conversions were thus among the first physical examples of what became known as the dedicated Jagdpanzer tank destroyers, all of which had completely enclosed casemates, but most of which were designed with the casemate as an integral component of the vehicle's hull armor from the start. The Ferdinand was more of a cross between the earlier, thinly armored, high-profile, three-side, open-top rear Panzerjäger and the later, more heavily armored, lower-profile, rear-engined Jagdpanzer. The driver and assistant driver were in a separate compartment at the front. As the engines were placed in the middle, the assistant driver and the driver were isolated from the rest of the crew and could be addressed only by intercom.